Homes, schools, and lifestyle, one of these suburbs has it all. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 4 of my favorite suburbs in the Kansas City metropolitan area. I'm going to break down the schools, the housing, the affordability, access to downtown Kansas City, as well as the amenities. So you're going to want to stick around because one of these might actually surprise you. Hey, listen, if you are contemplating making a transition to the Kansas City metropolitan area and you want to know everything there is about living in Kansas City, well then subscribe to my channel. Simply tap on the bell below so you'll be the first to receive information about what's going on in the Kansas City real estate market. My name is Chris Pucci with the Living in Kansas City real estate team, and we get calls from folks just like you every day. So if you're contemplating making a move in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, feel free to reach out. I can be contacted via phone, text, email, or if you like, schedule a Zoom call, because there's nothing we'd like more than to help you make a smooth transition to the Kansas City metropolitan area. The first suburb that we're going to highlight is Leawood, Kansas. And what really makes this one of the most appealing suburbs is it's home to some of the best luxury neighborhoods in the Kansas City metro. Now, it's comprised really of 2 sections. You have Old Leawood, which is north of I-435. Then you have South Leawood, which obviously is south of I-435. Now, in terms of Old Leawood, think of it as just one large neighborhood. And it is perhaps the most sought after neighborhood in the entire KC metro. And what sets it apart is its character. Here you're going to find established tree-lined streets with huge oak trees and maples that gives it a canopy feel. Here you're going to find mostly ranch-style homes. You're going to have some Cape Cods and 2 stories. They're all on half-acre to an acre-sized lots, so space is the defining feature here. And one of the trends, though, we're starting to see over the last few years is people are coming in, buying these homes, knocking them down, and building brand new custom homes. Because of that, we're seeing a little bit of a change in the character of the neighborhood, but you still have a really strong blend of mid-century now with some new custom-built homes. Now, let's talk a little bit about South Leawood. Here you're going to find newer neighborhoods that are master planned, wider streets, cul-de-sacs, and here again you're going to find some of the most desirable upscale neighborhoods in the KC metro. These neighborhoods are defined by landscaped entrances, stone monuments, as well as some gated communities. Many of these neighborhoods are going to back up to parks, golf courses, as well as green space. And the difference really is that they're not going to have that historic charm that Old Leawood has. They're going to be more modern, polished, and upscale. It is here, though, you're going to find 3 of my very favorite neighborhoods. The first is Hallbrook. Hallbrook is a very upscale luxury neighborhood. It's got part of a golf course community, and the streets are all well landscaped. In fact, the main street that runs through Hallbrook is a divided street with a beautifully landscaped medium in between. Then you have a brand new upscale neighborhood called Aventino. Here you're going to find homes that start at $1.5 million and go up. Typically they're 1.5 reverse story homes, top of the line appliances, amazing finishes, and incredible deep attention to detail. These homes, they're designed for really easy living as well as entertaining. My favorite, though, is Tuscany Reserve. Here you're going to find a community where the homes start at just under $1 million and go up from there. These homes and the area are lavishly landscaped with beautiful Tuscany style homes. I mean, this is truly my favorite. I love the feel of this particular neighborhood. I guess that has to do a lot with the landscaping, but the character of the homes. You typically don't see this style of home really anywhere else in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Now, in terms of the schools, North Leawood feeds into the Shawnee Mission School District. Here it's been rated A by niche.com. It's the 5th best school in the state of Kansas. The student-teacher ratio is 14-1, and they have a 94% graduation rate. Now, South Leawood feeds into the Blue Valley School District, and this is the #1 school district in the state of Kansas. It's probably the best school district in the Kansas City metropolitan area. The student-teacher ratio is 13-1, and they boast a 96% graduation rate. In terms of private schools, if you're someone who wants to opt out, you have some really excellent choices. Regardless of where you live in Leawood, you have access to some of the best schools in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Now, in terms of amenities and lifestyle, well, let's talk about outdoor recreation. You have, despite the fact that Leawood only consists of about 15 square miles, they have 6 parks. The 2 biggest would be Iron Horse Park. It's 115 acres. It has an outdoor amphitheater, an event space area, as well as all the other type of amenities you would expect in a park. And then you have the City Park, which in my opinion is the best city park in the Kansas City metro. It spans 66 acres. It has a great pool complex. Next to that, a terrific children's playground. Across the street, you have lighted tennis courts and pickleball courts, plenty of soccer fields and softball fields. They've got a brand new sand volleyball area, and also, in my opinion, it has the best off-leash dog park in the city. You've got a small dog area. This is where I take my dog so he can run with his buds, and then you have a big dog section as well. In terms of shopping and dining, Leawood is going to be home to some of the best upscale shopping centers in the Kansas City metro. You've got Leawood Town Center, Hawthorne Plaza, Leawood Crossing, and you have Park Place, which is this beautifully tree-lined, open-air, upscale boutique shopping area. As far as your daily activity or daily errands, you've got plenty of other retail options, and in terms of grocery stores, immediate access to like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Hen House, as well as Sprouts. Location, you really can't beat it. Easy access to 69 Highway and 435, which means from downtown, you're probably, I'm going to say 25 to 30 minutes away. In terms of the airport, you're probably 40, 45 minutes away. And in terms of places like the main employment hubs, say in South Johnson County, you're maybe 15 to 20 minutes. It's all of these factors that really make Leawood perhaps the most desirable suburb in the Kansas City metro. Next up, Prairie Village. What I love about Prairie Village is its sense of community and walkability. And this is why it is so popular with young families. Now, Prairie Village actually has 2 neighborhood shopping centers that tends to serve the entire city of Prairie Village. And most of the homes are within walking distance. Now, these 2 shopping centers are populated with local retailers and restaurants. And of the 2, the Shops of Prairie Village is the largest, but both of these shopping centers attract people from all over the metro. Now, like Leawood, Prairie Village, despite the fact that it only has 6.2 square miles of land area, it has 5 parks. The newest is called Meadowbrook Park. It consists of 80 acres. It was once the site of the Meadowbrook Golf Course. It offers paved walking trails, a lake where you can fish, a modern playground area, pickleball courts, and an event space called The Inn, which is part of a boutique hotel as well as a restaurant called The Market. There you can actually dine indoors or outdoors. It's a great place to get a casual meal or a drink and just simply enjoy the day. Now, in addition to the park system, they do have I'll call it a aquatic center. They have a pool complex with a 0 entry pool with slides and diving board. Here you're also going to find a child's play area, tennis courts, and a skate park. So you can see in terms of the amenity, it really is geared towards a family orientation. The schools are served by the Shawnee Mission School District, so you're getting A-rated schools. And in fact, a number of the elementary schools and middle schools are some of the highest rated in the Shawnee Mission School District. So, what do the homes cost? Well, kind of like Leawood, you've got what I call old Prairie Village, and then you have the newer Prairie Village. So the older section is the areas that really are close to the shops of Prairie Village. Here you're going to find homes that were built post-World War II, mainly from 1940s through the 1960s. The lot size, they're typically smaller than you're going to find in southern Johnson County, or Leawood for that matter. But this is what keeps the community more walkable and gives it a cozier vibe, making it more kid and family friendly. Now, in terms of pricing, overall the median home price is around $430 to $450. Entry-level cottages and ranches in the older part of Prairie Village are going to be in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. Renovated or expanded homes, they're going to be in the $500,000 to $700,000 range. And like Leawood, you're also seeing a trend, particularly in the older part of Prairie Village that's close to the shops of Prairie Village. People are coming in, tearing down the house and building new homes in their place. These homes are typically $900,000 and above. Now, in terms of location, it's got a great location. And in that regard, it's similar to Leawood. I mean, you are close to everything. You're 15 to 20 minutes, say, from downtown, the Country Club Plaza, Lewis Park, or Brookside. You're 10 to 15 minutes to the upscale shopping centers in Leawood, Kansas. In terms of commuting, it's very commuter friendly, which is just another reason why Prairie Village is so popular with young families as well as young professionals. So here's the bottom line. Prairie Village, it blends historic charm, strong schools, and a community spirit with some modern upgrades and rising property values. This is why it is often considered one of Kansas City's most desirable inner suburbs. In the comment section below, please feel free to leave your comments, or if you have any questions, or if you want to set up a time to chat later, that would be wonderful. So the suburb that we're going to highlight is Brookside. So now we're moving from the Kansas side of the state line over to the Missouri side. And unlike Johnson County, Kansas City is where you're going to find most of the older established neighborhoods that exude charm. And my favorite, and probably most everybody else's, is Brookside. Most of the homes were built between, say, the 1920s through the 1940s. Here, once again, you're going to find streets with large matured trees, which create that canopy feel. You've got stone curbs and winding streets, which gives it a classic storybook charm about it. Now, the homes, here you're going to find Tudor-style homes, colonial revivals, brick bungalows, craftsmans. So lots of different architectural styles giving the neighborhood a lot of interest. The homes here are often going to feature original woodwork, fireplaces, screened porches, unique architectural styles. So in short, the homes have more of a historic vibe. Now, in terms of price, well, here the homes are going to be a little more affordable. The median home value is about $425,000 to $450,000. The smaller bungalows and the cottages, they're typically in the $350,000 to $450,000 range. The renovated Tudors and larger historic homes, they're in the $500,000 to say $700,000 range. But there are luxury level properties here which can exceed $800,000 to $1 million plus. The schools, well, here's where Brookside has its weakness. Per niche.com, the Kansas City public school system has just a rating of a C. So this can sometimes be a barrier for people, particularly with families who want to move into the area. But you do have alternatives, and that is the private schools. For as far as elementary schools, you have Barstow, you have St. Paul's Episcopal, as well as Pembroke. In terms of high schools, you have Pembroke, you have Barstow. In addition to those two, you have St. Teresa's Academy, which is an all-girls Catholic high school, and then once again, Rockhurst High School. So despite the fact that the public schools are not as good as, say, the schools on the Johnson County side, you do have options. One of the great aspects, though, about Brookside is its walkability. You are close to two wonderful shopping centers, a 15,000 square foot Crestwood and the 80,000 plus square foot Brookside. Both of these shopping centers were built back in the late 1920s. They look today just like they did when they were first built. They're typically populated with local retailers and restaurants, and that because of that neighborhood feel and walkability, they have a real tight community feel about them. It's one of my favorite shopping centers. My sister and I used to literally walk to Brookside. There we go to the local drugstore. It was called Cat's Drugstore. I'd buy 3 packages of baseball cards. She'd buy 3 packages of Beatle cards, and then we go to the soda fountain and we'd each order a chocolate Coke. I loved it. It's my favorite place to go shopping, if just for the memories. Now, in terms of other amenities, you've got Loose Park, which is one of Kansas City's prettiest parks. It's 75 acres, has a small lake, paved trails, an incredible rose garden, and then you also have access to the trolley track trail as well. In terms of location, you can't beat Brookside's location. You're only about 10 to 15 minutes away from, say, downtown, the crossroads, the plaza. You have immediate access to public transportation, which Prairie Village and Leawood really do not have to offer. In terms of the employment centers in South Johnston County, you're probably 20 to 25 minutes away. Despite the fact that Brookside's public school system is somewhat wanting compared to the school system in Prairie Village and Leawood, it still has a significant draw and attraction to families moving into the Kansas City area for all the reasons we just mentioned. So this brings us to our last suburb. It's going to be quite a bit different than the other 3. So if you have an active lifestyle, you enjoy being outside doing all types of things, well, you're going to love Lee's Summit. Believe it or not, there are at least 7 lakes within the city limits of Lee's Summit or just on the very outskirts of Lee's Summit. You have public lakes like Blue Springs Lake, Lake Giacomo, Longview Lake. Now Longview Lake is part of a 4,800-acre park. The lake itself consists of 903 acres of surface water. There's all types of boating. There's a marina. They've got a swim beach that's staffed by a lifeguard in the summer. You've got picnic areas, camping areas. There's a 27-hole golf course, and you have 6 miles of biking and hiking trails, as well as an equestrian area next door. Now, in addition to that, they have what's called the Legacy Park. Now, this is a 700-acre multi-use park with sports facilities and fields, a small lake for fishing, trails for hiking and biking, as well as a 58,000 square foot indoor recreational facility, and there's also an amphitheater. So you have plenty of options to take advantage of to satisfy your outdoor itch. You're also home to, in my opinion, the prettiest and most charming downtown of any downtown in the Kansas City metro. It was built in the 1920s. Most of the buildings still have the original facade, which gives it a really nice historic feeling. The streets are tree-lined, so even in the summer, it makes exploring the downtown area very comfortable. And here you're going to find a lot of local retailers as well as eateries. I will guarantee you will not go hungry or not be able to find a place to drink in downtown Lee's Summit. It is the home of their newly opened and expanded farmers market. Here you've got plenty of open space for vendors. They've got a community gathering area. There's a playground area. And in addition to that, they have an indoor pavilion where you'll also find vendors during the farmers market when it's open, as well as an area to allow for other types of events to occur. In my opinion, the Lee's Summit Downtown Farmers Market is the 3rd best in the Kansas City metro, and that says a lot because we have a plethora of farmers markets here in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Daily errands, you have plenty of retail options available to you. My favorite though is Summit Fair. It's a 500,000 square foot open air shopping center with a lot of really nice retailers. Schools, which are always very important. Well, the schools in Lee Summit are very similar to those that you find on the Johnson counties, with like in Leawood and Prairie Village. Niche.com has given the Lee Summit R7 school district a rating of A, 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio, and the school district is considered the 5th best school district in the state of Missouri. But perhaps what really makes Lee Summit so attractive to young families is affordability. Homes in Lee Summit are generally far more affordable than the homes in Johnson County. And you have a wide range of options from starter homes to mid-range homes. The median sales price is approximately $410,000 per Redfin. Zillow states that the average home value is $383,000. Most homes, though, in Lee Summit are going to range between $350,000 to $500,000, depending on the size, the condition, as well as the location. Premium neighborhoods and newer construction, they're going to be at or above at least $500,000. And then we have lake communities. Take Lakewood, for instance. That's a 2,000 home suburb, which has 2 lakes, golf course, and a plethora of other amenities. Homes here are going to range anywhere from $350,000 to over $1 million, depending on the age, the location, the size, and if it's not or on a lake view or lake lot. So, all that being said, you can see why this is such an attractive suburb. If it has a weakness, it's its location. So if you don't work in the city limits of Lee Summit and you work, say, downtown or in the suburbs in Johnson County, you're going to be looking at a longer commute. Downtown, you're probably looking at a good 30 to 40 minute commute. To the suburbs, to the employment hubs in Johnson County, you're probably looking at 20 to 25 minutes. And a trip to the airport, I would figure at least an hour and 15 minutes to an hour 30. One of these, or maybe 2, might be exactly what you're looking for. But if you have questions or you want to talk a little bit more about these particular suburbs, please feel free to set up a time for a chat. I can be reached by phone, text, email, or if you want, schedule a Zoom call. And if you would, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to my channel. Now, before I let you go, one last thing. Most of us will need financing to help purchase our next home. That being the case, in addition to being a realtor, I'm also a lender. I have been for over 15 years. So I can be an invaluable resource. I can help you navigate the process or answer any of the questions. One of the benefits from the feedback that I get from my clients is they like the fact that I'm one point of contact. It facilitates the process. It streamlines the communications, I should say. It just makes the process so much simpler. So, I want to thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me. And until then, I look forward to showing you around the Kansas City market.